Welcome to Bridge the Gap, a show where we aim to build a bridge of understanding between opposing views. Each episode you'll see our participants sit down to discuss some thought-provoking statements.
I would engage in an open relationship.
If they disagree with the statement, they'll leave their seat and allow those that agree to explain themselves.
I've been in one, so.
When I have been in relationships, I understand that people don't belong to me and I don't belong to people.
Those that disagree then return and express themselves to the rest of the group.
Living in a patriarchal society, the power balance favours men in open relationships.
Disagree.
And you see that.
Hopefully building a bridge of understanding. Let's see what happens.
I would engage in an open relationship.
Oh, I agree, yeah. I realise that.
I mean, I've been in an open relationship, so I don't actually know where to start, but. Hello, my name is Paolo. I'm a DJ. I've been in one, so.
Yeah, I haven't necessarily been in one, but I think when I have been in relationships, I understand that people don't belong to me and I don't belong to people. Name's Sean Flores, former model, do podcasting, journalism, and I teach history. I think the idea of ownership in relationships is quite toxic, and there's this idea that it's mine and it's only mine, no one else can have it. So going back to the idea that I could engage in one, I think I could, because I'm not really possessive, as I said, not really territorial. And I understand not one sole person can meet your every need. That's why you might have platonic friendships. And if someone wants to do something else, it's not necessarily a reflection of you, it's the reflection of them.
There is one point where it's like, that you touched on, where if you have a lot of needs, for example, it might be unrealistic of one person to be able to fulfill all of those needs. I feel like in some instances that may be the case, but then there's the other sense where it's like, there's the theory of being in an open relationship, and then there's the actual practice of being in it, and a lot of people can't necessarily get over how it actually is, do you know what I mean, or how it might make you feel. There's this whole thing of, if you're happy with one person, but then if you have like lots of people that make you happy as well, you may necessarily have to like cut the relationship or cut the bond with those other people because you have a person. So the way your bond might develop with other people has to have a ceiling, and I don't like that.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, my reason for disagreeing is I feel like people are dishonest. Hello, I'm Madame Ikra. I'm 23 years old. I'm from London. Where people have sexual contact, people lie and they say they're not sleeping with other people, protect themselves, and that's how diseases spread. So I've had a lot of friends who have told me that their guy was cheating on them. And I guess in an open relationship, the only difference is that it's open with the communication. But even then, there's jealousy, and then there's diseases and STDs and lies and trauma. And I just feel like, just to keep it safe, I feel like just keep it locked up just with one person, or one person at a time.
Yeah, I was also going to say that for me, similarly, I wouldn't be in an open relationship ever. I think my reasons are you get a lot more emotionally, spiritually, on a kind of relational level when there are two people in a monogamous relationship. And especially when you're living in a patriarchal society, the power balance favours men in open relationships.
Disagree.
And you see that.
It does.
The data backs it up. The data backs it up. When you look at the data worldwide in terms of how many relationships are polygamous, so a man with multiple women versus a polyandrous, I believe, which is a woman with multiple men, it's kind of on a ratio of 1,000 to 1. My name is Kima, and I am a music artist. I do R&B music, and I also trained as a corporate lawyer. So it's
in terms of it happening, or
in terms of it happening, and in terms of being culturally accepted, in terms of being suggested, in terms of being recognised.
2% of the world does polygamy. 11% of that, 11% of sub-Saharan Africa is, polyamorous relationships, polygamy. But this idea that it benefits men entirely and doesn't benefit women, it's a gross misreading of history. Because back in the end of the day, what people forget is when there were more hands that needed to tend to something, you needed a bigger family. Typically, men took on wives, but that man had to provide for each of those women. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and it's not as simple as you know, a guy, it just benefited him. That was hard work. And there's tribes, you know, in Nepal and India who they practice fraternal polyandry, where it's one wife, many husbands, but she marries the brothers. If one brother can't procreate, the next brother will step in line to keep the bloodline.
That is very much an exception. And in relation to kind of farming and it being kind of beneficial because you can make more produce, there are ways that you can do that without a polygamous relationship. You can, to have economies of scale, you can just have lots of married couples, lots of monogamous relationships, grouping together, communities coming together to farm together with the same end.
People did
without having to go this
but people did that.
route.
People did that, but it didn't happen. And the idea that it's inherently sexist, again, it's looking at something from one way. There's some women who prefer to be in relationships like that because it protects them.
Monogamy is not natural for humans.
Oh, I agree, yeah. Goddamn, what's wrong with me? Oh, factually, it's not.
Yeah.
But what do you mean?
No, biologically,
Biologically speaking.
male and woman are not supposed to be monogamous.
Woman as
Why?
Yeah, both parties are not supposed to be.
Why?
You said something, it's just like, I'm out. I agree. I think the reason I agree, I'll go first. I think the reason I agree with that is also based on my spirituality. I'm a Christian. Hi, my name is Ruth. I'm an accountant. And in the Bible, it says that I think human beings, we are very, very selfish people. And we kind of go after what we want regardless of other people's feelings. I think it takes more to be in a monogamous relationship and to be committed to somebody than it would for me to be like, you know what, I'm kind of here for everybody whenever I want. And I think that's where, you know, things like marriage comes into it and that commitment to your partner as well as God, you know, being that this is now the third party that's going to help myself and my partner be committed to this situation and be obedient to that commitment.
Similar to what you said, like we're all kind of like selfish. I feel like I'm a selfish person too. I mean, if one person's not meeting my needs, especially if he's not taking care of me, doing the things that a man should be doing, I'm just gonna move on and walk away from the situation. And I feel like with a lot of men, they do the same thing as well. Like, when they don't find that this woman's the right person, then they just move on to the next, Especially now with the internet, like we have so much options with the internet. Like nowadays, I can just download an app, swipe left, swipe right, and still be in a relationship. So I feel like with today's options...
Nah, it's not as easy for the man.
Yeah, I was going to say, women wake up and there's options littered on their phone.
Yeah, that's
Men,
true.
we have to go and hunt it. And I think...
Well, hunt,
No, not really. You can go on your app right now and
Unless-
find somebody in an hour. You can.
No, as a man, we hunt. Like as you said, what a man should do traditionally, we hunt.
Provide, yeah.
Well, I don't know if provision, that's a whole nother thing. Women earn their own money, you can provide for yourself necessarily. But men, we have to go and get it.
Wow.
We always have to go and get it. Unless you're super famous or...
I definitely do think it's harder for men to like find, even if it's just like casual sexual partners. I'm Eduardo, I'm 21, student fresh out of uni.
Okay, so I wouldn't say that I necessarily disagree. I don't wholly disagree with the statement, but I do think there is an argument that if you're talking on a biological basis, that you might need to differentiate between men and women. There could be an argument that it might be natural or biologically natural for women to pursue monogamy. In that, if you kind of roll it back to a kind of caveman setting, that women are pursuing things like security and safety and resources. And if you have one man that's focused solely on you and your children, and you're focused solely on one man, then those resources are pooled directly for you. You benefit from that security from that one person. You don't have to deal with kind of issues that come up with jealousy or men fighting for the territory or for their woman. So there could be an argument that biologically maybe women perhaps are more kind of lean towards monogamy. And like you were saying as well, when you bring in the element of humans naturally having the emotional ability to be empathetic, that might also say that we're not naturally kind of hardwired for monogamy, because we understand that polygamy can lead to jealousy, kind of emotional hurt, and all of these other things that naturally we might feel as well, because we have the capability to be empathetic.
So I'm really on the fence. I don't know if I can understand, because I don't want to understand.
That's the key.
Yeah,
I
don't want to understand it, because I don't agree with it. I don't condone it in any sense of the word. I think if you're in a relationship with someone, and I believe that you can cheat in a open relationship as well. Funnily enough, I think, you know, if you're in an open relationship, you've both discussed it and you've both come to an agreement with one another. And my understanding of an open relationship is that we're very open in every way, not just in the bedroom, but we are very open in our communication. So if I'm then being in that open relationship and then going to do something behind your back, that's still kind of classified as cheating. Cheating is basically a violation, and it's a violation of trust. Back to what I was saying, I don't want to understand why people cheat, but I can perhaps maybe see why someone will wake up one day and make a poor decision. And, you know, of course, it goes back to, is the person that you're with, your primary partner, fulfilling all of your needs, mentally, emotionally? If you feel as though you are with somebody who isn't giving you emotional support, and then you happen to find that support in the arms of somebody else.
I know, but then
that
you break
means
up
you've
with
just
them.
understood.
No, but I just told you I don't want to
But
understand.
you've literally just understood. Even if you didn't want to, you rationalised it yourself.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't want to understand, but I do. My point
Yeah,
was
but
I don't want to understand.
I don't understand why people don't just, if you're going through that situation, why don't you just break up with them?
But
I think it's a selfish and it's a lazy
Most people
and an
can't handle the
immature
truth,
way
right?
of exiting a relationship to cheat.
You can love more than one person at a time.
Yes, you can.
Wait, do you mean romantically?
Yeah, in what
Do you mean
sense?
romantically? What sense?
Subjective, take it how you like.
Oh, come on, man. It's murky waters. Of course, yeah, I think you are.
I think you're naturally supposed to love. Like, as a human being, you're meant to, like, spread love, no?
And it's in what sense?
You can't really just divert it all to one individual. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I think you can love multiple people at the same time. I think you can just be in love with one person at a time. That's how I'm rationalising it in my head.
I just think there's just a lot of forms. There's so many different forms of love.
Yeah,
there are.
yeah, 100%. I think
it's-
you love your family,
Yeah.
you love your friends, you love your aunties and your uncles. I love all of them. However, I am just in love with one person.
Jasmine Sullivan wasn't.
That's her business.
But she's lucky if she got two guys.
Yeah, she said she fell in love with two men.
That's her personal
That's
problem.
good. Yeah, I was saying it's good. Like, if you find two guys, two of them provide, two of them paying all your bills, two of them taking you out, two of them going on vacations. But the issue is if the woman is sexually active with both, because that's where it gets a bit sticky. But if she's having a good time, then I think it's the best idea. Two great guys. That's what men do all the time. They have like 5 different women that are all amazing. A woman can love 2 great men at the same time.
Wow.
Do you know what, though? I love the conviction. Like, I absolutely love it, because you said it with so much bass. However, I don't agree. I really don't agree. I think if we're speaking about love in the sense of romance and the intimacy of what love is, I don't believe you can say you are, I'm going to use the word in love. I don't believe you can say you are in love with 2 people at the same time. I think being in a romantic situation with someone is giving yourself to that person and them giving themselves to you, you being there to meet their emotional, physical, mental, spiritual needs. I don't think one person can do that for 2 people at the same time. Otherwise, you're killing yourself. I think you can love many people. I'm such a lover of people. I think you can love many, many people. However, you can't be in love with 2 people at the same time. That's why I feel like I should have disagreed. I don't know. I'm on the fence with this.
You never liked 2 guys at one time?
I've never liked 2 guys. I've never really liked guys.
Huh?
I love.
Don't like them.
I don't.
It's not
that.
worth it.
Wait, no, that statement came out wrong. I've never liked 2 guys at the same. No, I haven't. I don't really like people.
Yes.
So how did your current partner get the chance to be
Because
with
he was
you?
an amazing person.
So he had to jump over every hurdle. But he had competition, right?
As he should.
Thank you.
But women aren't the only prize. Men are prizes
Yes, she
too.
is. Women are we have intrinsic value. We are the prize. Like,
What?
men go to work for women.
Wait, what?
Yeah, why do you go to work? To
I go
pay
to-
bills for your woman in
No,
the
for
future?
myself.
Yeah, well, a woman will enter.
What happens if I'm going to stay a bachelor my whole life?
Oh, well, then that's
What
different.
then?
Yeah, for me, like I said earlier, I think that when you love someone, I think it will be relative, right? Because how can it's hard to define love unless you felt it. So you will always define love by whatever you've felt in the past and compare it to that, right? So I feel like if you're in love with someone, like I said earlier, with regards to the investment you can put into people, I think that goes on the emotional side of things as well. And so I feel like I don't think it's completely impossible because you do it with your friends, right? Like you can have more than one best friend that you love to the same extent. But I think when it comes to a relationship, there's more layers to it. And I think is a different type of love. And so I personally think that you can't love two people exactly the same way and invest as much and like feel like you're in love. Like you, for example, asked her, do you like guys? Yeah, liking and loving are two very, very different things.
The point is you can feel feelings for someone. Love is obviously very different, and love, as you said, it's relative to what you've seen, to if you've seen your parents being in love, and most of us have grown up in two-parent households, right? But I know a photographer where they're in a polyamorous relationship. So when he wasn't around, she had other people, and when she wasn't around, they had other people, and their children know. And I've never seen such a happy family.
Yeah, but you've never seen. You don't know what's going on.
But it's the same with monogamous relationships. I think.
Well, you've seen it firsthand with your parents, the monogamous relationship.
Yeah, no, of course, right, and that's because I lived that experience. But there's this idea that anything that is related to poly has a negative adjective, as if monogamy can't have that same attributed to it. Monogamy is not the be-all and end-all of everything. However, we agreed, based on our society, and it's engineered that way, so it's going to work that way. Everything tunnel visions for it to be like that. But I definitely think some people can, yeah.
I know what it feels like to be in love.
Oh, yeah. I said that like such a happy girl. I was like, yeah.
Tell us about your love experiences, guys.
Wow, so cute. Everyone sat down. Oh, actually, no, it could be bad.
Yeah, you go first, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm currently in a relationship where I definitely feel like I'm in love. Or like, given my experiences thus far in life, this is definitely the most I've loved someone in a relationship context. And so I would say that I am in love.
How did you fall in love with them? Come on, man.
Oh man, you want the whole story? No, it's just. I feel like there's different things you look for in people, right? And for me, I think having someone who is able to understand is like that, and trust are the most important things. Someone who's able to empathize and sympathize. I feel like it kind of gives you an opportunity to not have to explain yourself to someone. And I feel like you find such great level of comfortability in that, that kind of leads you to start to become kind of like more dependent on them, in that like you want to be around them. And I think with my current relationship, that's kind of what happened. She provided me kind of like a space where I felt truly safe. And I've got a safe space with my friends, but she provided a space where like it was like took it to a next level, and I think that's why. Yeah.
That's I'm in love. I'm married.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, you're married.
Yeah.
That's love for you.
One guy.
4 years. Wow, I love that. Yeah. For me, I would say maybe bits and pieces of love, but obviously I'm not married, so I feel like it hasn't got to that level. But I think with marriage there must be a deeper level of love, right? Like a trust and all of that. But I think for me, the way I subscribe to love, I feel like it has to be selfish for me. And I feel like it has to benefit me first. And
I don't disagree. I
feel
don't
like
disagree.
that's my
I think
version.
everyone goes into relationships with their own, with things they want for themselves. People
Right.
even do it with having kids, but like you do it because you want companionship. That's selfish.
Yeah.
You do it because maybe you want to feel love for someone. That's also selfish. So I don't disagree. I think it also has to serve you as well as the other person. And when it serves both people, that's when you can have a happy relationship.
But then the
but
kind
it
of the
has to be a
comma with
negotiation.
that is that it has to serve you,
Yes.
but then you also have to be willing to
So
serve the other
others.
person.
Yeah,
So it can't be a
reciprocity is important.
one-sided
If you're not
thing,
being
otherwise that's
served-
not love.
But if you're not being served, there's
no
literally
point.
Yeah.
But no one's your happiness should not always be so dependent upon someone else.
That's why I said selfish though.
Yeah, it's a lot of the time, a lot of our needs we can meet ourselves.
I think
Yeah.
if you find find your own like happiness and love, you're able to love someone else better.
100%. I think the idea of love to me, kind of just scaling back to when what we was discussing earlier, when you said that you can't kind of like find everything that you need in one person. Again, I'm a Christian. I feel like all of my needs rest in God. The entirety of my needs rest in God, and it would be almost horrible for me to go into a relationship and expect this one human being with all of their flaws to expect to meet up to all of my needs and desires. However, can I recognize when I've met someone that comes pretty close, like in human form level? 100%. And that's why I would then say that, you know what, I have subscribed to, yeah, I am in love with this person, because they are not perfect. I don't expect them to be perfect. I'm not putting no expectation on you to meet my spiritual, emotional, physical. I'm not expecting you to meet all of that. Otherwise, I'd be setting you up for a fail. However, can I see that you are striving in all of your human abilities to do that? I can see that. So yeah, I can identify this thing as love. Yeah.
I think the only true love is God's love and unconditional love for children. Oh yeah, and friendships too. That's where even then it's conditional, but that's the closest I can get to unconditional love. Friends, children, and God. I just love those.
And trainers.